Will he? Can he? Gukesh is on the cusp of history in the candidates 2024. There is no denying that whatever happens from this point on, candidates 2024 in Toronto will be remembered for the exploits of a young Dommaraju Gukesh. Pragnananda, Vidit were the experienced players and they had a better chance. Gukesh had just come through at the last moment from the FIDE circuit, but after 12 rounds, he is the only Indian in the fray now for the candidates title. Pragnananda and Vidit's chances are over. Because after round 12, a lot has changed. And look at the elite company with which Gukesh is in at this point in time. Because Nakamura, Nepomniachtchi, Caruana, three of the best players in the modern era. As I said, there is Magnus Carlsen and the rest are here. Carlsen, if you look at it, he is the absolute GOAT. Nakamura, Nepomniachtchi and Caruana have always been the pretenders to the throne. But now you have a Gukesh in this midst. To be in this elite 4-member list is something which is extraordinary. For this achievement alone, Gukesh deserves all the appreciation and all the plaudits that he's getting. To be amongst Hikaru Nakamura, Jan Nepomniachtchi and Fabiano Caruana. Look at the margin, 7.5 and 7, just half a point separates 4 players. This is by far the most intense candidates we have ever seen. Probably 1997 Groningen lives up to that because the final between Michael Adams and Vishwanathan Anand went into tiebreakers. And that is why in a different format, it was an intense game. But here, 4 players still have a chance. Round 12 was the most decisive one because Gukesh beat Nijat Abbasov in a stunning display in the middle and the end game. The middle games, he had ensured that the queens were traded, his double bishops ensured that there was pressure on Abbasov, and if the H pawn wasn't working, he shifted to the A pawn. He knew that he would be a queen up, and because of that, Abbasov resigned after the 40 move period was done. So Gukesh went into 7.5. But what complicated matters further, Pragnananda drew with Jan Nepomniachtchi. Now that ensured Pragnananda was out of the race for the candidates. But he ensured that he did Gukesh a favor. Vidit unfortunately lost to Fabiano Caruana, and because of that, Caruana went to 7. 2 rounds are remaining in the candidates, and what has added to the spice? Nakamura's win against Alireza Firouzja. So that is why 7.53 players, 7, that's Fabiano Caruana. 4 players still have a chance to win the candidates. Vidit Gujarati and Pragnananda's chances are over. They can't win from this point on because round 13 and round 14 is going to take place over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Today is the final rest day, and because of that, round 13 could determine Gukesh and India's fate in the candidates. Because the first game, Jan Nepomniachtchi versus Hikaru Nakamura, that is a semi-final before the final round. Whoever wins that or whoever draws that is in pole position for the candidates. Pragnananda is taking on Caruana. Now Pragnananda will have to do what he did with Nepomniachtchi, either hold Caruana or beat him. Vidit is taking on Nijat Abbasov. This is anyway a game which is not going to be considered because of it's a dead rubber. Vidit has no chance to win the candidates, so does Nijat Abbasov. Gukesh will take on Alireza Firouzja. Now that is a banana peel because Alireza Firouzja has been mercurial. He can beat opponents, but he can also slip up in a big way. He had blundered in a huge way against Nakamura, and that's why he lost that. And he has been in the center of controversy also, so he is distracted in that sense. Round 14, if all the results go according to plan, then Gukesh versus Nakamura is the final summit clash. Whoever wins that might win the candidates. Now, Alireza takes on Vidit, but Pragnananda takes on Nijat. Nepomniachtchi, after overcoming Hikaru, he will have to face Fabiano Caruana. Now, because he's taking on Caruana and Nakamura, Nepomniachtchi's chances might take a hit because Gukesh has got a slightly easier draw. So, what are the results that Gukesh must hope? Because the scenarios are primarily at round 13, he has to beat Ali Reza Firozshah. Nakamura beating him will take a lot because he is one of the best players in the modern era. So that's why Gukesh has to beat Ali Reza Firozshah. Must avoid defeat to Nakamura. So if he beats Firozshah and draws with Nakamura, he will end up with 9 points. The candidate's title is his. The biggest hope that India will be praying is that Nakamura and the Nepomniachtchi game ends in a draw. That will put him in pole position because if they draw that game, the maximum anybody can get to is 9. Gukesh must beat Ali Reza Firozshah. That is the key part of this. If the Nakamura versus Nepomniachtchi game ends in a draw, it's advantage Gukesh for the candidate's title. But what if he loses one game? If he loses one game to Nakamura or if he loses to Firozshah, game over. He can't win. Because either one of Nepomniachtchi or Nakamura will go into the top at that point. If he wins both, if he can beat Nakamura and also beat Ali Reza Firozshah, then the candidate's title could be his, provided Caruana beats Nepomniachtchi. Nepo, Naka and Fabio both have tough rounds. Look at it. Nakamura takes on Gukesh and he takes on Nepomniachtchi. Nepomniachtchi takes on Nakamura and Caruana. This is where it becomes a whole lot more complicated. The good thing for Gukesh is he's got the easier round in round 13. And if you look at it, he is going to play with the black pieces in round 13. Black has been his traditional strong suit. But white, he can sometimes slip up. He's going to face, if you look at it, Gukesh will face Ali Reza with white, he will face Nakamura with black. Black has always been a stronger suit, so he will be hoping for at least a draw. So, at this point, Gukesh must avoid defeat in the two games. Simple. Wins against Ali Reza, draws with Nakamura, the title might be his. If Caruana and Nakamura game ends in a draw. If Nepomniachtchi and Caruana game ends in a draw. Caruana, Nepomniachtchi, Nakamura. These three guys' results must not be a win. If it is, we are heading into the tie-break system. So, 2 rounds remaining, history is in the making. You could see it on the 21st or you could see it on the 22nd. Whichever way you look at it, you have to appreciate D. Gukesh. He's held the flag high and he's flown it in a brilliant way. Candidates 2024, if Gukesh can win it, it will be a golden chapter in the history of Indian chess. Thank you so much folks for joining us for this video. We'll be back with more updates on Sports Today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget we are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. Bye-bye.